Con. Con. All praise go to the Most High. Call all your how by Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. This is another Sabbath. We're coming back in here. Spirit Check Saturday. All praises, first and foremost, all praises goes to the Most High, right? We want to make sure that we're in the Spirit continually. We want to make sure that we're moving righteously. We want to make sure that we're not falling by the wayside. We want to make sure that we're doing things decently and in order, man. Hey, the prophecies are unfolding, right? There are certain sicknesses going out, man. People fighting colds, myself included, man. People fighting ailments, man. Hey, people are broken. Bones are hurt, man. Things are happening financially. Hey, wars are kicking up. The Lord is moving a lot of things around, man. And now is not the time to fall backwards, man. There's a lot of falling away going on, man. And this is the season for that, man. Every time there's a major feast day, especially something like Passover. Hey, new moon just passed. Double, hey, back to back. You got the Sabbath, you got new moon, you got all these things coming about. Purim, right? A lot of things are keeping our people from serving the Most High, and there's an excuse for every situation, man. We have to be about the Lord's business, man. And we gotta keep our eyes on what's really important. You got Trump fighting against Zelensky publicly, whether that was staged or whether that was real, or hey, y'all got to pay attention to what's happening right now, man. You got they're taking your benefits away, taking what they call it, the SNAP. They're thinking about collapsing that whole thing, defunding the whole thing, man. And the Lord spoke of these things. So we saw last night, man. Right, and we gotta put that video out, man. We saw last night how Jake and Eve, it was a sea of people, man. It was like The Walking Dead, right? It was just a sea of people, and nobody wanted to hear the words of the Most High, man. The weather was nice. You had all these people just walking, man. Hey, it looked like a zombie apocalypse, man. Just a sea of people, just in sin, half naked over here, smoking weed over there. Right? It was about this world, and it was a prophetic sight to see. Because if y'all understand it and looking at everything in the spiritual, these people are in representation of those who won't repent. They're in representation of those who may get caught out there. They're a representation of the road is narrow to the Lord, but it's a wide path with the sinners, man. Roughly paraphrasing, right? Let's jump right into this thing, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Daniel. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Right? And let's jump into this thing. Are you losing faith, man? As things are popping off, are you losing faith? Right? Are you staying steadfast? Or are you falling by the wayside? Let's see. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 2. Bible shot. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 2. Right? Let's see here. And let's start at verse 21. Let's start at verse 21. Lord willing, the screen is sharing, the technology is good. Right? Let's do a technology check, make sure everything's good, as we know how Satan moves through the spirit, man. All right, readings out, Kaya.
This is the
Right back.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 21. And he changes the times and the seasons. He removeth kings instead of up kings.
Say that again.
He removeth kings instead of up kings.
So what's going on in the earth right now, Kaya? What are we seeing right now? We're seeing a lot of removals of powers. We're seeing a lot of people being put in the forefront, being taken out of the forefront. We see a lot of gainsaying. And just now, right, which is why we put that in the title, what did the world witness? The world witness, and I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. The world witness, Donald Trump, man, right? What was he doing? What was happening? The world witnessed this. So, hey, the entire world witnessed two powers, hey, bickering like housewives, man. Hip hop and housewives, man. I mean, just straight bickering, man. Just a couple months ago, they were receiving billions of dollars, man. If you're not paying attention to prophecy, you're going to get caught out here, man. Read that one more time, Bible Shop.
And he changes the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and set up kings.
What does the Lord do?
He removeth kings and set up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise.
What does he do?
He giveth wisdom unto the wise.
What else?
And knowledge to them that know understanding.
This is all of what the Lord does, man. He's been about this type of business. He's been about showing you all that he's going to control certain powers. He's going to cause a president to go against this president. He's going to cause alliances to change. He's going to cause the EU to do one thing and the damn BRICS to do another, man. He's going to cause these things to happen. But what are y'all doing in times past? What are we doing right now to mitigate that? Brothers is going outside, and we saw it last night. I'm going to tell you what we're doing. They're outside. This one, I'm just going to leave it at that. We outside. You know what that means, right? Wait a minute. Hold on. The brother, you got to say that louder. Say that again. What happened?
A brother had a jersey on. They said, "I'm outside."
See that? Y'all, hey, you can't make this up. Normally, it's Eve. That, hey, we outside, and then what that mean? Half naked or all the way naked, which we saw all of the above, right? There was no multiple choice. It was just, hey, it was just out there, man. And they're gonna get confused by this beautiful weather. They're gonna get confused by the breeze. They're gonna get confused by all the people that was around them. That's what happens. You see all these people, and what you start to flock as one person, man. You start to move as one person. You continue to be around the people that you, what they say, birds of a feather, what? Flock together, man. Right? And that's what you see on a day-to-day basis, man. You see these things happening all the time. Give me Proverbs. Okay, y'all, let's go to Proverbs. Bible shop. Right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 21. I wanted to pull up this article, but for lack of sake of time, we may get to it, we may not. Proverbs chapter 21. Let's start from the top of the shop.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
Wait a minute, what's going on?
The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will.
The Lord does that. He turneth it soever how he wants to do it, whithersoever he will, man. This is just going into the fact that there is nothing under the sun that the Most High isn't in control of. Do y'all agree with that? There's nothing that the Most High isn't putting together, right? And you see these things happening on earth where you have all these different powers coming together, and then you have this display of wickedness between Trump and Zelensky, man. And Israel was clapping their hands when seeing that. Whether it was staged or not, the perception that they want to put out in the world is, we're not putting no more money in Ukraine. Let Vladimir Putin figure out what he want to do with y'all, man. And the rest is going to be chopped up. You don't think that that's going to piss off the EU? You don't think that's going to piss off the people that's over there that's been pouring their hard-earned soldiers on the front line, and all these nations that were putting up a front, man? Trump flat out told Zelensky, "Hey, you're losing. You don't get to say what's going to happen to America. You don't get to say what America's going to feel." Hey, man, but the Most High does. The Most High said, "Yeah, you are going to feel it." Zelensky may be watching the prophecies right now. Say, "Hey, you all are going to feel it." And Trump, you're not going to tell us what we feel. You're not going to disrespect this Oval Office. The Lord doesn't care about your Oval Office, man. The Oval Office, man. Read verse 2, Kyle.
Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the heart.
And the Lord is doing that every day, man. He's doing that every day. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 13. Let's go to the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13. You got to understand, man, that's what we saw last night and what we're seeing in the world with Trump and Zelensky, what we saw on Bill with all our people, right, moving as one. They were looking for sinners. They were looking for those who moved to their beat. Read Sirach chapter 13 and start at verse 15. Papa Shah. Okay.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 13, and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Every beast loveth his life.
Say it again.
Every beast loveth his life.
Everybody's going to partake with those who they like partaking with. Read.
And every man loveth his neighbor.
And that's not talking about Allstate, man. It's not talking about State Farm. This neighbor here is going into those who they can relate to. Every person deals with their kindred in a sense, right? But on a spiritual level, it's going into, hey, I'm going to flock with those who got that same feather as me. If you smoking a blunt, hey, I'm with that. If you like going to the strip club, hey, I'm with that. What does the next verse say?
All flesh consorteth according to kind.
Uh-huh.
And a man will cleave to his life.
What will a man do?
And a man will cleave to his life.
A man will deal with those who he got a rapport with, man. Hey, you're not correcting me over here. I'm gonna chill with your sister. Gonna go with them sisters who not gonna say nothing. We all like to drink. Let's pop up. Let's pull up. But you got to see that the Most High is putting these things together. Let's go to the book of Exodus. Right? Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 17, and let's start at verse 1. Are you losing faith, man? As the prophecies are unfolding, as the Lord is pushing kings' hearts to do his will and his bidding, are you losing faith? Let's see. Hey, is your house in shambles? Is that because you've lost all faith? Hey, is your attitude just out the dang on window? Is that because you've lost all faith, man? Give me Exodus chapter 17 and let's start from the top.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 17, and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of sin.
Uh-huh.
After their journey, according to the commandment of the Lord.
Let's stop right there. All the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of sin. Now, a lot of people will read this in the English and they'll be like, wait a minute, they were in the wilderness of sin? See that? See that? But it's twofold right here. Finish the rest of this scripture from after wilderness of sin, Baba Kasha.
After their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord,
and
pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink.
And there was no water for the people to drink. Now, what I want to do is go to the Blue Letter Bible, and I'm going to go to Exodus chapter 17, and I'm going to start at verse 1. All right? I'm going to start at verse 1. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this word, right? So like here. I'm going to go into this word. Let me see if I can find it right here. Here we go. H5512. All right. This is different. It's pronounced seen. It's pronounced seen. So this isn't the same sin that you're thinking about. So it says Strong's H5512 is pronounced seen. Now what it goes into is it's a town that's eastern of Egypt. Okay? It's between Elam and Sinai. It's a town that's eastern of Egypt. Okay? So they were in the wilderness of Sin, or pronounced how they show it in English, they say sin. All right, that's how it transliterates down, but it's actually called the wilderness of Sin. Let's go to Exodus chapter 16 and verse 1. Let's go to Exodus chapter 16 and give me verse 1. Bring this out.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16 and verse 1. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came into the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai.
So the wilderness of Sin. The wilderness of Sin is how you pronounce it, which is between Elim and Sinai. It's an area. It's a small little town or city, right? On the border of Egypt. Keep reading.
On the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt.
So when they departed out of the land of Egypt, don't let the English trip you up. You got to understand that we're about to go into faith right now. So you got to get the context of what's going on. You got to understand what we're talking about. Go down to verse 2. What happens when they left out of Egypt from being saved from the recklessness of Pharaoh? What did they do?
Verse 2. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness.
They did what?
And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness.
Murmuring is a bad thing to do. We've covered this multiple times, all right? In this particular lesson, we're talking about losing faith. We're talking about what you shouldn't do, what you shouldn't fall into. And if you're going through something right now, in this particular prophecy, why would you begin to murmur against the Most High God, man? Why would you begin to murmur against the people who are leading you in your household, your husband? Why will you murmur against him? Why will you murmur against your own rib or something, man? If you're supposed to be instructing her, why would you talk bad about her to everybody? Why would you murmur against the teachers and the leaders of Israel? Man, this brother lesson going off. This brother lesson is this, and this brother talking like that. Hey, man, what's going on, Israel? And we're not gonna take shots or nothing, but hey, brothers got to get it together out here, man. Brothers got to get it together out here, man. Too much effeminate murmuring going on, man. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 17 and verse 1, man. Right? Let's go back to Exodus chapter 17. And matter of fact, start at verse 2, Baba Kashab. Read.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore the people did chide with Moses.
What did the people do?
Wherefore the people did chide with Moses.
Now, what is chide going into, brothers? Say it again. To go against, or to contend, or to complain, to murmur, to argue, to challenge. Now, was Moses sent of himself, or did the Lord send Moses, man? What you think, Lil Trey? The Lord sent him. Elijah, who sent Moses? Did Moses send himself, or did the Lord send Moses? Huh? Who sent them? Yahweh? Good choice, man. I'll praise the Most High for that. Read.
Wherefore the people did chide with Moses and said, give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, why chide ye with me? Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord?
What did he say?
Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord?
Why chide ye with me? Where are you trying to tempt the Most High? Why y'all challenging me and I'm just doing what the Lord told me to do? Keep reading.
And the people thirst there for water.
And what's going on?
And the people thirst there for water.
What's going on?
And the people thirst there for water.
People are thirsting for the word right now. See, this is also spiritual. They weren't just thirsty and parched and dehydrated. Hey, these people need to get spiritually built up and have faith on what they were hearing. They needed to have faith on what was shown to them and what was told to them, essentially, man. Keep reading.
And the people thirst there for water. And the people murmured against Moses and said, wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst?
So this is going into that wicked spirit of not being consistent and not being committed. Can you We made this analogy once before. Can you be a great, what do we call it, NBA player or something, NFL star, if you're not committed to the regiments of workout? If you're not committed to learning the playbook? If you're not committed to the position that you're in? Here you are, a running back, and you keep coming out on special teams, man, trying to kick the ball. Hey, brother, you're the running back. Get back on the bench, brother. This is essentially a spiritual war that you all are falling down in because of the lack of faith, man. Let's go to Philippians, Bible Kashaf, right? Let's jump to Philippians. Let's go to the book of Philippians, man, chapter 2. Let's get this quick precept. Philippians chapter 2 and start at verse 12. Philippians chapter 2 and let's start at verse 12. Bring this out.
This is the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and
What are we
trembling.
supposed to do?
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
You need to work out your own salvation. Now, how do you work out your own salvation? Keeping the commandments and the faith, the brother said. Paying attention to prophecy. Meditating on the oracles of God, man. Repenting of sin, man. Read verse 13.
For it is God which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure.
What's going on with Zelensky and Trump?
For it is God which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure.
It is the Most High that worketh these things, man. Right? He's putting these things in order for his good pleasure. The Most High has chosen to cause friction in front of the whole world with two world powers, essentially. One who's trying to join NATO and fight against one of the biggest world powers the world has seen, Russia. Read verse 14.
Do all things without murmurings and disputings.
Wait a minute, keep arguing.
Do all things without murmurings and disputings.
Make videos about every brother.
Do all things without murmurings and disputings.
The Lord said, cut it out, man. Through his prophets, through his servants that he sends, he's saying, cut it out, Israel. Pick up your faith, get your act in order, preach the good news if you have to, learn what you need to, right? Chew the meat, what they say, spit out the damn bones, man, and keep it moving. Keep reading.
That ye may be blameless.
Wait a minute, say that again.
That ye may be blameless.
We're trying to be blameless in the last days, not the brother who's the rightest amongst people and vainglory and I got 1,000 likes, brother, sister. Don't be that person. Read.
That ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God, without rebuke.
Without what?
Without rebuke.
Read.
In the midst of a crooked and preserved nation.
Read that again. Read it clear.
In the midst of a crooked and perverse nation.
In the midst of a crooked and perverse nation. Read that again.
In the midst of a crooked and perverse nation.
Khan.
Among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
Khan, Salaki. So the water for that. So mighty reading. So what he's saying is you're gonna be in the midst of those who are acting up, man. You're gonna be surrounded by people who just aren't really walking how you should be walking. In the midst of doesn't mean comfortably on your couch. And you just watching it in the midst of is where we was last night, man. That's being in the midst of a crooked and perverse sea of our own people, man. Hey, it was a sea of people, man. Straight like that. The Lord is calling us to stand steadfast in the way of perverseness, man. Among what, Kayal?
Among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
What should you do?
Among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
So you should be a light to those, man. Not a murmurer every chance you get. Somebody tries to say something to you, you complaining, cursing them out, being effeminate, calling them all sorts of names. Hey, man, check yourself, man. This is Spirit Check Saturday. And no effeminate gets into the kingdom, man. Gird up your loins, be a man, right? Sometimes you got to wink at ignorance. A lot of brothers don't do that. Oh, you saying something about me? I'm going to say something about you. You said it publicly. I'm finna do it too. A lot of brothers don't know what meek and humble means. They just read it. It's just buzzwords, man. A lot of people don't know what that means because they used to pride. They used to walking with their head up and never being made low through the spirit, man. Moses was a brother of lowly spirit, of humble spirit, is what I'm saying, right? So very humble brother, man. They call Moses one of the meekest, humblest brothers around, man. You can't fight against that. Give me verse 16, Kayal.
Verse 16, holding forth the word of life, that I may rejoice in the day of Christ, that I have not run in vain, neither labored in vain.
I want to see everybody put in the chat a one if you want to labor in vain. It should be no ones in the chat. Do you want to labor in vain? Put a one in the chat if you want to labor in vain. Who wants their works to be called vanity, man? Good for nothing. Who wants their works to be called good for nothing? This is the issue, man. Shouldn't be one, unless it's Esau, it shouldn't be one in the chat, man. Unless you're an Edomite, and unless you're a scoffer of the Lord, shouldn't be one in the chat, man. Go to Lamentations, Bible Shop, chapter 3. All right. Let's go to Lamentations, chapter 3. See, I put the reversal on. Let's see if folks listen. Put a one in the chat if you are a reprobate. See your brothers out there listening, man. Lamentations chapter 3, right? And jump in at verse 38, Bible Shop. Lamentations chapter 3 and verse 38. Read it here.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, and verse 38.
Bring it out.
Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good.
Say it again.
Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good.
Right. Out of the mouth of the Most High. Is he not controlling these things that you see that's going on with Trump, and that you see what's going on with Zelensky, that you see what's going on with the damn world powers, man? Hey, Biden and his crew was out of the mouth of the Lord too, man. Right? The Kamala's running up against these people, everybody voting for the woman because she's black and they worship women today. Hey, man, you have these things happening in the world, man. They look for Jake. They look for our families and our people to be ran by Big Mama, man. They got the Big Mama spirit. What your mama say? And now what your father say, man? And that's not for every household nowadays, but for the general consensus, man, it's a lot of women raising their children. The man isn't present. The father isn't present, man. And you won't argue with me about it. Argue with the Lord. That's the curse he put upon us, man. He said that was going to happen. You don't have to argue about that. You arguing with the Lord at that point. That's what he said he was going to do. You should be able to see that clearly. Read that from the top again, Kayal, verse 38, Bible Shah.
Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good. Wherefore doeth a living man complain?
Say it again.
Wherefore doeth a living man complain?
So why are you complaining? Your lack of faith is why you're complaining. Keep reading.
Wherefore doeth a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins?
And that's why you're having lack of faith, because you're still in a lot of sin and you're still getting punished for that sin. That's the big issue. A person who going through a lot normally done did a lot in their life. And we got to be able to accept that punishment and come back to the Most High still, even through his correction, man. Why are you complaining? Is it for the punishment of what you done did that you ain't even thought about, that the Lord said, I gotta touch you for? Why are we complaining for? Read the next verse, Kayal.
Let us search and try our ways,
And
turn again to the Lord.
And do what?
And turn again to the Lord.
The water for that, and turn again to the Lord. This is something that we got to learn to do. It says, let us search and try our ways. Spirit check. That's a spirit check definition scripture right there, man. Let us search and try our ways and turn again until Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. right? Let's go to the book of Numbers, Kayal, if you don't mind. Let's go to the book of Numbers. All right. Turn again to the Lord, man. It didn't say turn to the weed. It didn't say turn to the damn OnlyFans, right? In your spare time, right? It didn't say go outside. It didn't say be the outside crew. Numbers chapter 11, Bible Kashab. And start from the top. Read this.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 11, verse 1.
Bring it out.
And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord.
Say that again.
And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord.
It made the Lord happy.
And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord.
It displeased him, man. So the Lord will do something, and he'll put you in this city. He'll put this calamity on you. He'll put you at this job. He'll give you that husband. He'll give you that wife. And then all you do is complain. You don't stop sinning. You don't consider your ways. You don't do anything. You just keep murmuring. Now you on YouTube making yourself an influencer. You getting followers of complainers. You're a complainer who got followers who complain. And you think you're something in this world because you got people who subscribe to that foolishness. Keep reading.
And the Lord heard it, and his anger was kindled.
And what?
And his anger was kindled.
The Lord heard it, Israel, and his anger was kindled. Read.
And the fire of the Lord burnt among them.
Wow.
And consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp.
We don't want the Lord's fire to consume us. We don't want the Most High to put us to shame. We don't want to labor in this truth. Come out the world, and then you fall back, and everything was in vain that you worked for, man. Brothers in this truth 20, 30 years, and their end is worse than their beginning. Right? We don't want to be those brothers or sisters, man. This is an encouragement lesson. And this is also pay attention to prophecy lesson, man. Don't think you could kick your feet up because Trump is not funding Ukraine. Hey, man, this is a domino effect. The Lord deals with that. One thing besets another, besets another. That's how the Most High works. Let's go to another scripture in Exodus. Go back to Exodus, right? Let's go back to the book of Exodus chapter 17, and let's jump back in. Exodus chapter 17, and let's jump back in. Let's start at verse 4. Exodus 17 and verse 4. Let's jump back into this. What's going on in Exodus chapter 17? Are you losing faith, man? Right? Let's see. Let's check the status. Read this.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, what shall I do unto these people?
Right. And Moses cried unto Yahweh, hey, man, what am I going to do? Read.
They be almost ready to stone me.
That's a people who lost faith. Right there. Moses was sent by Yahweh. Y'all just came out from under the hands of Pharaoh. Y'all dwelling in the wilderness that's called sin. It sounds like sin, damn it. It's all parabolic. But this is a fruition of what Israel is, man. A hard-headed, gainsaying people. Keep reading.
And the Lord said unto Moses, go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thy hand and go. So the Lord commanded Moses to go into in front of the people, take the rod that he split, right, the Red Sea with, right, smote the river, take that in our hand and go and do what? Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb. And then Yahweh says, I'm going to be there before you at the mountain. I'm going to be at this mountain, calling it a rock, right? Read. And thou shalt smite the rock. And you're going to split this rock. Smite goes into clave or to split or to split. Because at this point, when he splits this mountain, it's going to turn into a brook of a sense. Like a waterfall of a sense. The water's going to gush out of this high rocky mountainous area that Moses is going to split where Yahweh is before him. Read. And thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. That the people may what? That the people may drink. And we're praying that Israel begins drinking the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua at this point. This is spiritual.
Right? Read.
And Moses did so in the sight of the elders
And
of
Moses
Israel.
did so in the sight of the elders of Yasharallah. Keep reading.
And he called the name of the place Massah
Uh-huh.
in Meribah,
And why did he do that?
because of the children,
Yeah.
because of the chiding of the children of Israel.
Come. Mighty clear right there. So as Kayal just read, y'all, because of the what we say chiding was? Murmur, in a sense, or contending, or coming against somebody, right? Trying to agitate you, or trying to stop you, or the chiding, because of the chiding, right? They tempted the Lord. Read.
And
No, you
because
got
of
it.
the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?"
Wow, and that's a faithless comment. Is he with us or not? Does that sound like faith? Is he with us or not? Does that sound like that? Don't sound like faith. Is he with us or not? That sound like, damn, bro. Like, what you mean? That's a what you mean moment. Like, you kind of look a brother up and down when they say that, man. What you talking about? Is he with us or not, brother? You not watching this? You didn't see him with the mountains on fire and the presence, the voice coming out of heaven, brother. You just seen what? You just not see that? It's a disrespect, man. This is what the Lord showed you with Trump and Zelensky. Man, you gonna sit up here and say that? You gonna come over here and act like this? Right? They was talking like Zelensky's supposed to be kissing his feet or something, man. Like, and that's the spirit that Esau had. Trump said, "Hey, we been saved y'all butts. We delivered y'all from Russia. How you gonna come over here and talk reckless?" The Lord is putting these similitudes out, man. But that's the pride of who? Esau. It's the pride of these wicked people, man. Ultimately, right? We're gonna see what that pride goes into, man. And this is the condition of the battle, man. Give me that in Second Ezra, Baba Kashab. Second Ezra chapter 7, matter of fact. Right? Let's go to Second Ezra chapter 7. You gotta understand there's a battle going on. And this battle has to be fought at a high level of spiritual principalities that will try to knock you off of your footing, man. Second Ezra chapter 7 and start at verse 56. Second Ezra chapter 7 and start at verse 56, Papa Shop.
This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 7, and verse 56. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
So while we lived and committed sin, no one was considering the aftermath, right? Nobody considered that this battle that you're in to keep your faith and stop murmuring and stop complaining, it's a battle of the fittest that you have to go through if you're on this earth. Everybody has a fight, right? So why in the heck are we complaining so dang on much? Don't y'all understand the nature of this thing? Is what's being said. Read the next part.
Then answered he me and said, "This is the condition of the battle."
What did the angel say?
This is the condition of the battle.
What?
Which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
Wow. You got to do this. You got to get your mind ready to fight for more than just your damn belly and your flesh, man. This is the condition of it. Get your mind right, man. Spirit check. You didn't know you had a battle to fight, did you? I'm just trying to break the generational curses, man. I just want the bag, man, and I just want the sisters, man. Hey, you should have seen it last night. Jake walked up to us, looked at the sign with Caesar Borgia with the horns on it, with the 666 in his forehead. He pulled out his phone and he started talking like a woman. Hey, twin, look at what they doing with God. Brother, why are you talking like that? What do you mean, twin? Who the hell is twin? Well, who is he talking to? The hell is that, man? Our brothers doing that now? A twin? Calling each other B's and H's like females. What's up, B? ITC, y'all fill in the gaps, man. Calling brothers that, and they responded instead of getting a chin check, man. It's a different era, man. The brother walked up to the sign. Hey, twin, look at how they got God. Everybody's looking at Caesar Borgia and scratching their head like, did this brother just call? And what happened? What did the brother do when we tried to say, hey, brother, that's not God, brother? What he do? He walked off, man. He kind of ran off, skipping almost, man. Brother started skipping. We tripped. He said we tripping, right? Then he went to talking to twin on the phone. I don't know what that was, man. The hell was that? Hey, bug out land, man. Keep reading, Kyle, verse 58.
That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said.
What's going to happen to us?
He shall suffer as thou hast said.
You got to go through something, read.
But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. And
that's why we're fighting for this thing, man. We're fighting to get the victory. We're fighting to win this battle, to have faith beyond just being sleepy and tired and hungry all the time, just pleasing the flesh every second we get, man. Brothers become grown men and act like they still children, right? Read.
Verse 59. For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying.
Wait a minute. Read verse 59. Very important.
For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived.
And that's why we're in the book of Exodus. This is that moment of what we're saying. You have to understand not to complain. Listen to what the Most High said through his prophets, through his servants, right? This is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people when he lived, saying what?
Saying, choose thee life that thou mayest live.
That's all through Exodus. That's all through Deuteronomy. It's all through Leviticus. It's all throughout what Moses was speaking to them, man. It's all through Numbers, right? Read verse 60.
Verse 60. Nevertheless, they believe not him.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Nevertheless, they believe not him.
Faithless, man. Hey, faithless comment again. Flag it. Where's your dang on faith, man? You not only saw the miracles, you heard the words. Brothers is not only seeing what's going on right now, they're reading and hearing the words. You got Israelites all over the place, man. You got some in purple and gold. You got some in black and gold. You got some in this color and that color. The message may be put out a little different, but hey, the theme is the same. Keep God's commandments and live, man. Believe on Yahweh Shah, man. Mostly it's the same. Some Israelites are kind of, not going to go there. But hey, Israel is still Israel. Let the Lord separate the wheat from the tares. I don't got a dagger to throw at a brother, man. The Lord chooses who's being led astray. The Lord chooses who's doing it the right way. The Lord chooses who's hot, and the Lord chooses who's cold. Out of his mouth does it not evil and good proceed? Right? Do y'all part, man. Keep the commandments. Hey, don't forget the foundation, man. Don't forget the foundation, man. Nevertheless, they believed him not, nor what? Salakia.
Nevertheless, they believed not him, nor yet the prophets after him. No, nor me, which have spoken unto them.
Say that again.
No, nor me, which have spoken unto them.
That's a grievous statement to say. Like you ain't believing nothing. And that's Israel. You're not believing nothing. We gotta come out of that spirit. Go back to Exodus chapter 17, Baba Shah. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 17. And let's pick back up on the pride of Zelensky, man, the pride of Esau, right? The pride of damn Amalek, right? Read, what does verse 8 say? Read this.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 8. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim.
Now, who was Amalek? Who was Amalek?
Esau.
Amalek is Esau. But what part of Amalek is Esau? He's the grandson. He's the grandson of Esau. The grandson. So if you come out of Amalek, you're Edomite in a sense, right? You're of the lineage of Edom in a sense, right? What does it say in verse 9 about Bashar?
And Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand.
So right after the water came out, everyone's received water from their thirst. You got Amalek being sent to what? Fight with Israel in a sense. And so what happens? Moses told Joshua, hey, get you some courageous brothers. Get you some men of valor. And tomorrow, I'm gonna have my rod in my hand, right, on this hill, and we gonna go to war about this. Read verse 10.
Verse 10. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek.
And did what?
And fought with Amalek.
What's gonna happen?
And fought with Amalek.
It's gonna be a fight, man. It's gonna be a fight. Because Amalek has been chosen to war with the Lord throughout every generation. Read.
And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. Then it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed.
That we what?
That Israel prevailed.
And what else?
And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed.
So this is a spiritual thing right here too. Having faith and strength enough to carry on, or not enough, and then you start to waver. The enemy starts to prevail. You got enough faith and strength to win a battle, or you really don't have no faith and Satan all over you. He kicking you down. This is a spiritual fight, y'all, and that takes the spiritual starts first, but then it manifests in what? The physical. So if your spiritual isn't believing in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, we're gonna see. Oh, I said, do you have faith? Or are you losing faith? Let's see. It's gonna be known, invisible, that you ain't got no faith, man. Just by how you moving. Your arms not even up no more to the Lord. Your arms not even, you ain't even looking up to him no more. You're not even considering him anymore, man. That's a crazy thing to be in this truth for over months, and then you back in the world taking your fringes off saying, I don't see myself doing this no more. Brother, you done lost your faith, man. You lost your faith, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Romans. Let's go to Romans. Chapter 11, or chapter 10, by matter of fact. Romans chapter 10. All right. And let's start at verse, let me see. Romans chapter 10. And let's start at verse 16. Start at verse 15.
This is the book of Romans. Sorry. This is the book of Romans.
Bring it out.
And how shall they preach except they be sent?
See that? Read.
As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach of the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things.
So it's a beautiful thing to see Israelites standing up, waking up, coming out here from all walks of life, doing the work of the Lord. That's a beautiful thing. Whether you're making an exhortation video or breaking down, the prophecies, or, leading a camp or whatever you're doing, that's a beautiful thing to see. Because the Lord is willing his people to wake up in these last days to help fish for those who are considered the Gentiles of our people, man, to bid them back to the marriage. That's a beautiful thing. Read.
But they have not all obeyed the gospel.
Say that again.
But they have not all obeyed the gospel.
For Isaiah, read.
For Isaiah saith, Lord, who have believed our report?
It says, Lord, who have believed our report? Now, this is spiritual right here. Because when it's talking about going into the gospel and not believing it, it's literally talking about understanding that Yahweh Shai is going to be salvation for us, right? They're not believing these things. Just like in times past, they didn't believe Moses. They're not believing the report, right? Get that in Isaiah chapter 53, Baba Shah. Get that in the book of Isaiah chapter 53. Let's see. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 53. And start at the top.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 53, and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Who have believed our report,
Uh-huh.
and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed?
So this is, when you read Isaiah 53 right here, this is going into the prophecy of Yahweh Shai. All right, read.
For ye shall grow up before him as a tender plant,
Uh-huh.
and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness. And when he shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him.
Uh-huh. Read.
He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not.
So we're going to stop right here, but it's just going into, matter of fact, jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions.
Who was wounded for our transgressions? This whole chapter right here, essentially, in a sense, is going into the prophecy of Yahweh Shai, right? He was wounded for our transgressions. What else?
He was bruised for our iniquities.
Uh-huh.
The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed.
That's Yahweh Shai. Let's jump back to Romans chapter 10. So that's the report that people aren't believing. Just like they didn't believe Moses. They what Yahweh Shai say? If you don't believe Moses, how can you believe me? These are the precepts that help prove these things. A lot of people refute the New Testament because they don't understand the necessity of the historicity that goes into it being accurate and it being valid as scripture. They discount it because it doesn't make sense to a reprobate. Read verse 17, Romans 10 and verse 17.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 17. So then faith cometh by hearing.
Say it again.
So then faith cometh by hearing.
Ain't that what happened? The Lord said they didn't listen to the prophets, they didn't listen to me, they didn't listen to they didn't listen to Moses. That's where your faith was supposed to be at. You heard what to do. You were given the oracles of the Most High. Read.
In hearing by the word of God.
Wait a minute. In hearing by who?
In hearing by the word of God.
That's very important. That's very important. Because your faith should have been pushed over the top just by hearing the very words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. What do you mean, is he with us or not? What do you mean? Keep reading.
But I have said, have they not heard? Yes, verily. Their sound went into all the earth, and their words into the ends of the world.
And that's what's happening now. The teachers are going to go out before Yahweh Shah comes back. That's why young people are coming in. That's why, people are falling out though too. Because you got the believers and then you got the unbelievers. The ones who won't believe. Read.
But I say, did not Israel know? First, Moses said, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people.
Uh-huh.
And by a foolish nation, I will anger you.
And that's what the Lord did. Sending Amalek, sending all these different nations, right? He said he was going to do those things. Read.
But Isaiah is very bold and saith, I was found of them that sought me not. I was made manifest unto them that asked not after me. But to Israel he said, all day long I have stretched forth my hands unto a disobedient and gainsaying people.
And that's the part where we got to have more faith, man. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 65. All day I've stretched forth my hand to you all. Where's your faith? It's going to show. Isaiah chapter 65, Kayal, and start at chapter 2. Verse 2. I'm shot. Start at verse 2. Isaiah 65, let's start at verse 2.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, and verse 2. I have spread my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts. A a people that provoke me to anger continually to my face, that sacrificeth in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of brick.
Brothers and sisters should not want the Lord to speak to you in this manner. All right. We serve the Most High at a high level because we're commanded to. And I get it. A lot of this stuff go over our heads. We get tired, we get restless. But understand that every week y'all have a chance to reset, look at what you're doing right, look at what you're doing wrong, consider your ways, and y'all got to try to do better. All right. That's the whole mission for y'all to understand that y'all got to do better. All right, from the young man to the old man. It's not that many of us right in here, but y'all have to move in the spirit regardless to try to save face on the last end, man. You're trying to save, you're trying to not be this person who's angering the Lord continually to his face, right? Let's jump down. Matter of fact, drop that and let's go to Sirach chapter 2. Drop that. Let's go to Sirach chapter 2. We're gonna drop that. We're gonna jump back in here. Let's go to Sirach chapter 2. Right? Let's get a precept. Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and start at verse 5. Baba Shah.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire.
So this is why your faith has to be tested. You got to be tried. Every brother and sister understand that? Read.
An acceptable man in the furnace of adversity.
Right. And you want to be acceptable in the face of opposition, affliction. Read.
Believe in him, and he will help thee.
Read.
Order thy way aright, and trust in him.
So that's another spirit check. This is about having faith, believe in him, trust in him. Read.
Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy.
And
go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him. Your reward shall not fail.
This is beautiful. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy. Go not aside. Trust in him. You will not fail. Read.
Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy.
Read verse 8 again.
Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail.
We want the reward. I want to stress verse 8, man. Your faith can keep that reward from you. I want y'all to gloss over these precepts and just be like, all right, okay, cool. Hey, it's a lot of wisdom right here. It's a lot of spiritual food right here. Water, right? Like at the Mount Horeb, man. Like, hey, splitting that rock over there, man. Read.
Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord? It was confounded.
So that's why we're in the book of Exodus. We're going to wrap up Exodus 17 shortly, but it says, look at the generations of old and see if any of them who trusted in the Most High was confounded. Right? Read.
Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken?
You see that? Read.
Or whom did he ever despise that call upon him?
Wow. Did he despise somebody who called upon? Hey, these are beautiful questions. Read.
For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering,
wow,
and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction.
Right, read.
Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands.
What does it say in verse 12?
Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands.
So this is going into those who are losing faith. If you're losing faith, verse 12 should wake you up. Read.
In the sinner that go 2 ways.
And when you lose faith, you're going to go 2 ways. You're going to be over here. You're going to be in that doctrine. You're going to be in this camp and in that camp and in that camp in the span of damn near 2 weeks, man. That's what losing faith looks like, man. Let's go to Exodus chapter 17. Let's try to wrap this up. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 17. Jump in verse 12. Exodus chapter 17 and verse 12. So Moses' hands, right, when he held it up, Israel prevailed. When he let it down, Amalek prevailed. Read verse 12.
The book of Exodus chapter 17 and verse 12. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands.
And so you got fellas, man, hey, helping Moses out through the faith. Read.
The one on the one side, and the other on the other side.
One brother holding him up over here, one brother holding his hands up over there. And then they put him on a stone so he can sit down and rest. Read.
And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun.
Wow, read.
And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword.
Discomfited means they beat them with a sword destruction, basically. They were smitten. They were cut down. Literally with the edge of the sword. Let's get an account real quick. Baba Kashah, Salaki, and Joshua. Let's go to Joshua, chapter 10. Let's get this account. Now, in Joshua chapter 10, there was something likened to like a miracle, right? Joshua chapter 10. Let's start at the top. Matter of fact, jump down from the top. Go to like verse 5. Let's see this account in Joshua, right? We'll get ready to wrap up. Lord willing, you're understanding these examples of having faith, even through these prophecies with the kingdoms shaking up and showing opposition, to not lose your faith at all and to stay steadfast. This is Joshua chapter 10, and this is verse 5. Bring this out.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 10, and verse 5. Therefore, the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lashes, the king of Eglon, gathered themselves together and went up, they and all their hosts, and encamped before Gibeon, and made war against it. And the men of Gibeon sent unto Joshua to the camp to Gilgal, saying, slack not thy hand from thy servants. Come up to us quickly and save us and help us. For all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. So Joshua ascended from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor.
And all the mighty men of valor, read.
And the Lord said unto Joshua, fear them not, for I have delivered them into thy hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee.
And this is what your faith does. When you have faith, it procures your battle. It secures the win. It's already a spoiler alert. Read.
Joshua therefore came unto them suddenly and went up from Gilgal all night. And the Lord discomfited them before Israel.
There's that word again. And the Lord discomfited them before Israel. And what happened? What does that mean?
And slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way to go up to Beth Horon, and smote them to Ezekah, and unto Makkedah. And it came to pass, as they fled from before Israel, and were in the going to Beth Horon, that the Lord cast down great stones from heaven.
What the Lord do?
That the Lord cast down great stones from heaven upon them unto Ezekah, and they died.
Wow. So the Lord sent down these ice blocks, really. Read.
They were more which died from hailstones than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. That's
a mighty thing right there. When you got faith, the Lord will take over your battle in a way that you never thought he could. He'll take your enemies out just by you having faith, man. He'll secure the win in a way that puts the fear on all the nations, just like he did in the eyes of all the nations when he destroyed Pharaoh, man. He put the fear of the Lord upon all people. Read.
Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Son, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Jalon.
So Joshua did a feat right here. You have the sun not going down at all. And this is spiritual because it also represents the battlements. Their armies not finishing this thing out until everything was complete, until the battle was won. But it also goes into the Lord, right, keeping that sun in place and not moving as it would normally do. Read verse 13.
And the sun stood still.
And what happened?
And the sun stood still.
And what else?
And the moon stayed until the people have avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Joshua? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven. It has not to go down about a whole day.
And hasted not to go down about a whole day. So this is something that people should look into. Look into these accounts, man. Look at what happened. And read verse 14.
And there was no day like that before it or after it,
Uh-huh.
that the Lord hearkened unto the voice of a man. For the Lord fought for Israel.
What happens when you have faith?
For the Lord fought for Israel.
And that's what we're trying to put back into our mindset as these kingdoms collapse. As these kingdoms collapse. Let's get this closing precept. Matthew chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24. And start at verse 13. Right here.
This is the he that shall endure unto the end shall be saved.
Con, and if you endure to the end of this battle, you will be saved, man. But with that, we're going to get ready to go ahead and wrap up. Lord willing, you will edify through the spirit of the Most High, edify through the precepts. Shalom, shalom to the body, and shalom to all Israel who does tap in, man. Keep the commandments and have faith in these last days, man. It's been a lesson towards our people, a spirit check Saturday. Check your spirits while y'all are moving to and fro on the earth. Leave off from the murmuring and keep God's commandments. And with that, Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.